right from the 1960s, when Nigeria got its independence, the first coup, corruption was mentioned.
As in, how can the people now contribute in this fight against corruption?
When you look at it, fighting of corruption is not one man business. It's the teamwork. It's the teamwork. If we can come together and fight corruption, we can bury everything overnight.
As a citizen of Nigeria,
what can be done to make the society better? You know, as a woman here, you know, as a mother.
The society doesn't want to give these women opportunities because they think these women can come and dominate the role men play in the society.
Hello and welcome. The program is The Advocate, a program designed to deliberate on issues of anti-corruption and accountability in governance. My name is Jack Vincent Fidelis, and I'm your host. On the program today, we have a whole lot of issues lined up for discussion with my guest. My guest is Hassana Maina. Hassana Maina is the coordinator of North Normal, Girl Child Activist and a poet. Hassana, you're welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
The level of poverty and out-of-school children in the north of Nigeria is quite high. It's really quite high. Nobody's disputing the facts. What, in your earnest opinion, do you think is responsible for this anomaly?
Well, it is pathetic that as a nation and at this point in our level of development, we still have out-of-school children. We still have a lot of children that do not even have basic care, that don't have a family to be with them, to take care of them, like we have them on the streets. These things are despicable. But I think the most, and I'm glad that this show is about corruption, because the short and simple answer for this is corruption. Because there is no accountability in government. Because I mean, when you look at all of these things that is going wrong in this country, it is because there is money that was meant for it, but someone has mismanaged it. Right, and that is what corruption is. So if you look at it closely, you'd realize that all of these things that is happening, things are not going well. We have so many children that are out of school. We have so many girl children hawking on the street. It all boils down to someone is not doing his job because that person that's not doing his job is corrupt, and someone somewhere is paying for it. So basically, that is it. The long and short answer of it is corruption. If people start doing their job like they should in this country, if we have accountability, if you ask for this amount of money to do a particular project and then you get it done, your members of your constituents will benefit from it, right? So you wouldn't be having problems where you would say, there's so much level of poverty that would have out-of-school children, and okay, because if you look at it, where parents can struggle and afford to take their children to school, in most of these real societies, there are no good schools, right? And okay, where there are infrastructures, that's the building, there are no teachers, right? So okay, where there are teachers, the situation, the learning environment is not favorable. So if you look at it, the long and short of it is someone is not doing the job that the person is supposed to do, that we voted for you to do, and it's embarrassing.
Yeah, and that's quite interesting. And I appreciate the fact that you have a law background.
Yeah, I have a law degree.
A law degree. So with that, you see, the children in northern Nigeria are having a hard time because of these out of school children we're talking about. Now, could the subservience and probably gullibility of the masses of northern Nigeria be responsible for why they are taken for a ride by the political class?
Well, this is a very beautiful question, Jack, because it got me thinking, if we are the way we are, right? If we have children that are out of school, if there's this level of poverty, who benefits of it? Because when I see situations, I always ask, so who has it? Like, who's taking credit for it? Who's getting benefits for this? And the real truth is, this is my conspiracy theory, and I take full responsibility for it. But I believe that there is a deliberateness in keeping northern Nigeria the way it is, because someone somewhere is benefiting. Because every 4 years they would come, and because these people are hungry and these people are not educated enough, it's easy for them to be manipulated.
Why is it easy to do this? Why is it easy to be able to manipulate a large number of people? Northern Nigeria is known to be the largest region in the country.
Right.
So how
but the least educated.
The least educated.
So if you have people that are not educated enough, people that are not literate enough, it's easy for them to be brainwashed. Right? So what I'm saying in essence is, someone is benefiting from the fact that these children are not in school. Because after 4 years, they come and they use them as touts for election purposes.
And their own children are in Ivy League universities abroad.
I mean, Jack, you know this. You know this.
That's really unfortunate.
Right.
That's really unfortunate. So now, could poverty be remotely responsible for why the people in northern Nigeria are the way they are?
Agreed. I am very passionate about the girl child, and when we talk about equality and we talk about children being equal and getting equal opportunities, you cannot help but wonder why you would see a family with male and female children, and then the parents would work so hard to make sure the male child goes to school while the female child is married off. And when you look at it, yeah, it's annoying, but basically it's because these parents are poor. If a parent can afford to send all of his or her children to school, the parent will do that, right? So poverty, because I have barely been able to eat, and you want me to think, and you want me to make good decisions. To me, I feel, if we want to demand for people, if we want to demand people to act with dignity, we have to give them dignity. And it was not a mistake when the drafters of the Constitution drafted that people have rights to dignity, right? Because dignity is very important. So, how can you get dignity? You need basic amenities. You need good food. You need good road. You need good water. You need a decent place to sleep. If people do not have that, people won't be able to think. And that is why the problem goes in cycles and cycles and cycles and cycles.
Thank you very much. You see, we're talking about the same northern Nigeria that produced the likes of Leila Dogonyaru. The same northern Nigeria that produced a whole lot of front runners who are female, who are from the north.
Haja
Sawaba. Now, if these people could do this much in those days, why can't the story be changed today in this digital age?
Well, I think there are so many young northern Nigerian women that are doing fantastic, even though we do not have the opportunities that we should naturally have, that we should have by right, even though we are constrained by society, by family, and people manipulate religion to constrain female. But
the women of old had these constraints as well.
Yeah, but
they excelled.
But what I'm saying is, we're still excelling. I can name examples.
I'll be glad if you do.
We have Fakriya Hashim, we have Mariam Loshi, we have Zara Denejo, we have Kadriya Ahmed. There are so many northern Nigerian women that are being light in whatever they do. But what the most important thing is, we have to understand that celebrating people that have succeeded despite of should not be the story in this era. The government should be boasting that they have created avenues for people to succeed. It should be an embarrassment for the government to be boasting that people are succeeding in spite of their inadequacies. That's the way I see it, right? The Nigerian government should be able to boast and say, okay, we have provided these opportunities, and then these young women or these young youth are succeeding. But if the story is still people are succeeding despite, we have passed that level.
I must appreciate you very much for the passion I see in you. It's really nice.
Thank you.
Viewer, in case you're just joining us, the program is The Advocate, designed to deliberate on issues of anti-corruption and accountability in governance. My guest, Hassana Maina, has been impressive. If you want to get more of Hassana Maina, then you have to be with us when we come back from the break.
Right from the 1960s, when Nigeria got its independence, the first coup, corruption was mentioned.
As in, how can the people now contribute in this fight against corruption?
When you look at it, fighting corruption is not one man business. It's a teamwork. It's a teamwork. If we can come together and fight corruption, we can bury everything overnight.
As a citizen of Nigeria,
What can be done to make the society better? As a woman here, as a mother.
The society doesn't want to give these women opportunities because they think these women can come and dominate the role men play in the society.
You are welcome back. The program is still The Advocate, and I'm with my guest, Hassana Maina. Hassana Maina is the coordinator of North Normal. She is a Get Child activist and a poet. Talk to me about poetry.
I write poetry. I've been writing since I was a little girl.
Okay.
Poetry has always been my go-to, because I feel what you cannot, what other people cannot feel, like poetry gives me that flow of emotion. I'm able to let it all out.
Do you write your poetry or you perform them?
I write them, I perform them. I have performed at Kaduna Books and Art Festival, where I was invited as a guest. I make videos of my poetry and I post them on YouTube. I write about the problems that we face in northern Nigeria. I write about the Almajiri. I write about everything. I even write about love.
That makes you a poet.
Oh yeah.
All right. Have you been able to use your poetry to pass the message of corruption and lack of accountability bedeviling this country? I don't know if you've had the chance to do it. If you've not, then I guess it's something you should consider doing.
Oh yeah, I have. If you go through my YouTube page, you would see where I did a poetry on an Almajiri child, and the whole point was talking about how we have failed collectively, the government, the society, the family, how we have failed to take care of our children.
Okay. We've been talking about corruption, lack of accountability, and how it affects the people. Now, how can the people contribute in this fight against corruption?
During the first segment, we all agree that education is very important. I feel when people are aware, people become empowered. The first stage of empowerment is awareness. People have to know, and when they know, hopefully, the anger that this cannot continue would make people to force those in positions of power to do something about it. And then there are so many amazing young people that are creating organizations that help to keep the government responsible or help to keep the government accountable to the people. We have this connected development that is led by Hamzat Lawal, where they do follow the money, they follow policies and projects that the government intend to do. And
I've had them in this program before.
Yes. So I mean, it's amazing to see that young people are. But the most important thing is we need to have people that it affects them saying enough is enough, right? We need.
Now, these people are subservient. These people are constrained, probably by cultural and religious factors. Okay, so their hands are kind of tied. Given your law experience, how can these people be helped, or how can they help themselves, and then fight this thing bedeviling them?
Yeah, but there's this popular saying that says, "Heaven only help those who help themselves."
And now, if those who help themselves don't know how to do it,
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Empowerment starts with awareness.
Okay.
Example: this program that we're having.
Yeah.
Only God knows who would listen to this and feel like, but honestly, we can't let corruption to continue. And person might probably start making research and maybe get together, because I believe in the power of number. So what I did with North Normal was I had a group of young people come together, and then we realized that violence is not normal and we can't let it continue, and we start advocating against it. So we can have, when people come together and say, we can let this continue, we can let that continue. Imagine if we have about 5 people in each state saying this can't continue. Imagine the kind of uproar that would cause, and imagine the kind of change that would be able to implement at the end of the day.
Let's talk about North Normal.
Yeah.
You are the coordinator?
Yes.
An activist
Yes.
for girl child rights?
Yes.
Okay. What do you guys do?
Okay, the North Normal started as an offshoot of Ariwa Me Too, and Ariwa Me Too was an online engagement that started the conversation of sexual violence in northern Nigeria, sexual violence and assault and rape in northern Nigeria. We had lots of people coming out to talk about how they've been violated, and personally, I felt these are young people that have been violated since they were little, like since they were 9, 8. And is it because we don't have, as I said earlier, awareness? It's not because they don't know. What would happen if they knew that this was assault? Would they have let it continue? So I got a team of young people, and we started going to schools to talk to young people about sexual violence and how to protect themselves, and how to speak up, how to end the culture of shame and silence. So apart from that, there's always something you can do. The most important thing is we have to have policies in place. So North Normal came as an offshoot of Ariwa Me Too, and North Normal aims at the aim was to get the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, that's the VAP Act, domesticated. It has been passed since 2015, but it hasn't been domesticated in so many states in Nigeria. So I coordinated a standstill rally, and right now...
What states in northern Nigeria has it been domesticated?
It has been domesticated in Benue, we have it in Abuja, we have it in Kaduna. So,
and then we don't have it in what people refer to as the core northern states?
We don't
of
have
Borno,
we don't have
Kano, Katsina, Jigawa, and so on.
No, but we had the standstill rally in Kano, we had it in Borno, we had it in Sokoto, we had it in Bauchi, we had it in Yobe, and a few other states, about 8 states. And right now we're at the stage of talking to the members.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So in 60 seconds,
okay.
In 60 seconds, what would be your advice to all stakeholders in this fight against corruption?
60 seconds, and the time starts now. Let's end corruption, because corruption would end us if we don't.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
I like the fact that you are here and you've enlightened the public very well. It would be nice to have you again on the program.
I would love to come back.
If you don't mind.
I would love to come back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Viewer, that is the much we can take on the program, The Advocate, for this week. I had a wonderful time myself listening to Hassana Maina. We have wonderful guests lined up subsequently. Stay tuned with us, same time, same station next week for another wonderful episode of the program. Until then, so long.